What's up, NFL draft fans? It's your boy Jay Tuck, and today I want to talk about wide receiver Emeka Egbuka out of the University of Ohio State. We all know what he did, leading the Ohio State Buckeyes to a national championship. He's been there. He's been the Robin for a lot of great wide receivers. But I think when it comes to the NFL draft, he is a very interesting prospect. And if you are a Dallas Cowboys fan, listen. I feel like if you really care about helping Dak Prescott, Emeka Egbuka is the pick for you, and we'll get into the reason why, because I know we're going to dive into the film, but he's 6'1", 205 pounds, and overall, he had 2,000-yard receiving years in his career. He did it, I think, in 2022, 2023, had an ankle surgery in 23, and then last year he had 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. But the thing that I said I like the most about him is that we know the type of wide receivers they had at Ohio State, from Marvin Harris to Jeremiah Smith to JSN. So there's been a lot of quality first-round talents, but he silently just goes out there and does his job. And I think he's the perfect complementary wide receiver for a team that already needs one. Now, if you need a wide receiver one, that might be a completely different conversation, but primarily there's a lot of Cowboys fans that watch this channel. And I think that we know that who wide receiver one is clearly in CeeDee Lamb, but I think Emeka Egbuka can definitely help with that. Now, when you stack him against some of the top tier wide receivers, right now everyone's talking about T-Mac and Matthew Golden. These are big physical X wide receivers, so I really don't want to include them, but just from a aesthetic standpoint, I'll go ahead and include them in the discussion, right? But between him and Luther Burden, right, the thing that I like about Egbuka is he plays with a lot of high IQ. So he is going to be kind of like your Amari Cooper-esque route technician, long stride speeds, just very clean, smart player. I feel like Luther Burden personally is a lot more explosive. He's more your yak after guy. He can just take it to the crib, and we did a film session on him, so go ahead and check that out, right? So I think that's one of the distinct differences, but like I said, he was still able to make plays, and the reason why, from a Cowboys standpoint, I think Egbuka would match perfectly alongside of CeeDee Lamb. We all know what our struggles was last year. We had a lot of struggles, but we know what, when it comes to our wide receiver core, what was our main struggle? Separation. And when you look at separation, his target separation is 4.3 yards. So he is able to create space, create windows, and he's very smart to sit in soft zones, which Dak Prescott likes, because we know Dak Prescott likes to play the game at a calculus level. I feel like Egbuka can play at that same capacity. Now, here is one concern where a lot of people push back, especially for Cowboys fans, is he primarily played in the slot, right? He played 70% of his snaps in the slot, and Luther Burden played 79% of his snaps in the slot. So we know CeeDee Lamb is like to be utilized in the slot a little bit, right? But I feel like with the emergence of CeeDee Lamb, he can play outside. Egbuka can also play outside at your Z, and we'll talk about that here in the film session. I feel like it's an interchangeable piece, and I feel like the Cowboys will be perfectly fine figuring out how to fit Emeka Egbuka alongside CeeDee Lamb. So let's go ahead and get into the film. All right. So the very first thing, like I said, when you watch his film, and the thing that I love the most about him, and I've been preaching this heavily on this channel, is I want players that play big in big games, and he is definitely one of those guys. I mean, you watch some of his play versus ranked opponents, that's where he really turns up. Versus the smaller schools, he kind of vanishes a little bit, but the big time, he really steps up. On this play right here, you'll notice, once again, he's playing the inside receiver slot, but the subtleness in his routes to create separation, and you'll see it here. I'm gonna play it in slow-mo, right? So he's coming off the line of scrimmage, moving forward, no wasted movement, and you'll see it right there. Move one to create leverage, and there's another one right here, right? So those little moves don't feel like much, right? It doesn't feel like much. Like, Tuck, why are you even showing us? He just dipped his shoulder 2 times. Big what, bro? But let's watch it in full speed and how that freezes his corner right there. You see it? It's subtle, right? So he's not really gearing down. It's smooth like butter. Bam, bam, right? Separation. So those little things adds up. And for people who hate when I play these clips in slow-mo, that is the reason why, because you're watching every little subtle movement. Bam, bam, right there. separation, catching away from his body, turning upfield. So like I said, he is very savvy in his routes. He's crisp in his routes, and he's processing quickly. He doesn't have to gear down. And of course, right, when you're watching wide receivers, or they catch them with their body or their hands, turning upfield, boom. On this play right here, nothing too fancy, just a simple underneath route, right? But once again, just getting him the ball in his hands, and he can make things happen. I feel like he is the perfect complimentary wide receiver. Now, you could push back and say, yo, would you draft the wide receiver 2 at 12? Well, I mean, as the Philadelphia Eagles, who won the Super Bowl, I think they are not complaining about Devontae Smith, who was a wide receiver 2, what he's able to do, opposite side of A.J. Brown. So would I go with this pick at 12? Absolutely. I know it's a whole civil war between running back and this and that and this and that. But me personally, I feel like if you really want to get this offense off the ground, especially for Dallas Cowboys fan, we need another wide receiver opposite of CeeDee Lamb, and I feel like Egbuka could definitely do that. Also, another thing, right? It's also the small things that really matter. Willing blocker, boom, up front. Not afraid to mix it up a little bit, out there blocking. Now, is he the best blocker? I would say no. He slips off blocks sometimes, right? But he's a willing blocker, just willing to do whatever it takes to win. Competitive toughness, those are the things I definitely aim for and look for as I'm going through these film sessions. Boom. Out there blocking. Boom, boom, boom. Right. Might be a hold if you had that Cowboy star on, but y'all get my point, right? Also, the Ohio State, they used them often in the quick screen game right here. So, the quick screen game, when you're watching it, if you've been watching our film session, if you haven't, where have you been, right? We want to kind of go back to see what is he doing once he has the ball in his hands, and you really can't see it from that angle, so let's get to the end zone angle, right? But who is he once he has the ball in his hands? Does he have vision, right? So is he reading his blocker properly? So you have, I think this is big number 70 with the inside block, so I'm about to cut inside. Well, actually, nope, he takes the outside angle. All right, so now I'm reading the hat. Now, if number 70 can get up to second level on number 15, I believe, he probably could have got more yardage after this, but he's reading, he's processing, right? So you want players that can process quickly when they have the ball in their hands. Set up blockers, kind of turning a wide receiver into a running back, if you will. On this play right here, I mean, honestly, it would have just been 6 if he would just hit him with the out route, right? But it's a little out and up. Really didn't take much. I mean, this whole play was just toasted. This whole play was just cooked from the beginning, right? But still, right? Being able to get upfield, turn upfield, secure the catch, brace for impact, because the safety probably could have came over and tried to maybe knock his head off, possibly, right? But just securing the catch and getting the touchdown, like I said, this is versus Oregon. This is one of the top teams that I think they was number 1 at the time, right? So this is versus Oregon, right? So I want players who make big plays in big games. I don't care well, I do care kind of, right? Versus the small schools, but from a Cowboys perspective, when the lights are the brightest, that's where I really want to see who you are. Once again, just lined up in the backfield, little read option. Now he has the ball in his hands. Now, I don't know what he's possibly going to run. I would probably gauge him at being like a 4-5, not a 4-5, I mean 4-4 guy. I know some people say he can run a 4-3. I mean, he might if he has a good day, but I don't think it's going to be 4-3. I think it's going to be more like 4-4, 4, saying kind of middle 4-4s, which is perfectly fine, right? Not every wide receiver has to be a burner. I would say if you compare him to like a Luther Burden, like I said, Luther Burden after the catch was more built for it, more electrifying, but it's more than enough, right? Is more than enough with Double E. I feel like he can do just as much, if not, have the same type of impact as a wide receiver too. Now, if you're watching this film session and you're another team and you're looking for, possibly a wide receiver 1, I might be like, I really don't know, right? Because I feel like, there's a lot to be proven when it comes in. Like, he doesn't get pressed a lot. He really doesn't play outside a lot. So, those things are kind of leaving some question marks. But if you already have a wide receiver who's decent, I think he's the perfect complementary back, and I cannot say that enough. On this play right here, he's lined up outside, right? So he's not in the slot. So, boom, coming off the line of scrimmage. Is there any wasted movement? Pressing forward. That long stride and long speed can really test to make this corner kind of press back a little bit, respect it, right? Plant, look at his hinge, low hips, right? Hips are low, securing the catch, peek, turn and run. Simple. Now, I'm not sure what Brian Schottenheimer's offensive scheme will be like, but we know last year was a lot of hitches, a lot of curl routes, but that's easy money. That's easy money, easy yardage, and this is what Dak Prescott likes. And you have this opposite of CeeDee Lamb, it really just opens up a lot of things when it comes to Dallas Cowboys offense. All right, let's play right here. It's a simple little RPO action. Boom. Finding the spot, catching, securing it, turn upfield. Easy money. Easy money. Now, you compare this and combine this with the running back, because you can still get a talented running back in the second round. For all my running backs, got to be in the, you can still get you one in the second round. If you combine this with CeeDee Lamb and a talented running back, maybe one of his Ohio State compadres, right? It opens up this game, the quick game, the RPO game, the play action game. You can do a lot of different things when you have some talent out there on the perimeter to be able to go get some more weapons. All right, once again, ability in the backfield, reading blocks. Like I said, it doesn't jump off the film, right, speed-wise, ability-wise, but it's more than enough. It's more than enough. He runs tough. He plays with some physicality. Does he have that dog swagger that jumps off the film? Probably not, but, you know, let's keep it a buck, right? Just because you're barking around, you know what I'm saying, brushing your shoulders off after every play really doesn't mean you're a dog, right? It's like, what do you do actually on the field? You know, Amari Cooper, he wasn't much of a talker. He was much of a silent killer. I feel like Double League is kind of the same way. More of a silent killer, little mesh concept. He's out in space, catching away from his body, turning upfield. It's easy money. So I feel like he is a very Dak-friendly wide receiver. And if you add him alongside CeeDee Lamb, it can definitely be scary. And on this last play right here, it shows his ability. Get over the top, secure the catch, soft, reliable hands. Like, it is all there. If you're looking for a complimentary wide receiver, it's just all there of everything he does. He's willing to block. You know, he has good feel for the game, field awareness, can get open in space, separation. It's just one of those guys where I feel like if any NFL team can add him alongside another guy, they are going to have them one hell of a player, man. So that is it, man. That is a Emeka Egbuka wide receiver out of Ohio State. Like I said, I like this kid as a prospect. Separation is something the Dallas Cowboys definitely need, but even just not from a Cowboys perspective, I think he's a high caliber prospect, probably top 15-ish. So if you're going to get him, you better get him early, because I know a lot of scouts are going to be interested in adding him to their roster, man. So it's your boy Jay Tuck. Comment, like, subscribe. If you love draft film, you are in the right spot, because I'm telling you, I got so many bangers lined up. I might even drop another one. So you definitely have to turn on that notification bell so you do not miss out. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go get Dak Prescott some help, please. Peace.